private room. I got the senators with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Just right up there.
All right, perfect. Senators, follow me.
Gentlemen?
Size?
Hello, sir. Is that man a pirate, or is a fan of Johnny Depp?
No, actually, he's the captain.
Oh, interesting.
Why you got us out of here, Bash? It's cold as hell.
Yeah, it is cold.
Don't you worry, I got the heat warmer upstairs. We're asking about missiles right there. Need some.
All right, well, there you go.
After you, Mayor.
All right, well, should be warm enough for y'all. It's not too bad. So, there's a couple things I'll bring up from my side as far as just general state of Los Santos and everything's been going on. Roughly last week. It's been a week so far. When was the last time? When was the time that
You're
Michael
so
Simone was
incompetent.
caught? Monday. I'm trying to remember, Senator. Was it last week?
Yeah, Simone was brought into custody 9 days ago, I believe.
9 days ago. Yes, 9 days ago, the super terrorist Michael Simone was caught by the Unified Police Department. Then he was transported to the penitentiary where he's being placed in max sec. Shortly afterwards, the next day, the Russians, retaliation for Michael Simone being caught, launched a full assault on Los Santos, damaging and hurting a lot of civilians, using F-14s, Apache helicopters, drone strikes, and so on. So, with that being said, I'm requesting the help of the Senate to send a message loud and clear back to the Russians that we will not tolerate any attack on Los Santos, and we'll do everything we can to fight back.
Well, I have been thinking about the possibilities, and the sad thing is we can't nuclear strike our own cities, so we'll have to use napalm or something. Maybe some napalm.
I was thinking bulldozers. We demolish your buildings.
We should definitely bomb it first.
Well,
Some capacity.
with all due respect, 100 feet away from that building is Mission PD, and that's the police HQ. So
Right.
Yeah, that's what the napalm's for. It, doesn't explode.
I don't want my officers getting hurt in the process. While trying to
No. Our drone strikes are very, very accurate. And just because it wasn't that good when we invaded Iraq and, killed civilians there, doesn't mean we'll do the same in our own country.
If I may, Colonel, that entire compound is just buildings on the outside. We could use the improvised explosives, the big planted ones, knock all those buildings down and level the whole goddamn block.
Something like that would be great, Senator.
Yes.
Send a message back to Lowell Moscow that you can't be fucking around in our playground. So we don't tolerate that.
Am I understanding this correctly? That a super terrorist was caught, and so Russia decided to back the super terrorist?
Well, so we believe he was the main source of weaponry being smuggled from Russia into Los Santos. A lot of the weaponry you see in the hands of criminals are Russian-made, and the biggest supplier of those weaponry was Michael Simone at the time. So the guy who was making a lot of money from them just got caught, and now that source of income is gone. They're not very happy.
Interesting. That's strange. How long ago did the weapons stop coming in exactly?
It's been a year and a half now. I would say majority of the weaponry has stopped coming as far as class 2, maybe 4 or 5 months now.
Isn't that roughly the same time you had a raid on the art gallery or what it was? You found weapons in there too?
Correct, yes. There was a massive raid on the VLC underground. There's tunnels inside. We found a weapon bench that manufactured class 2s.
Yes. Maybe they're also terrorists.
Well, they did try to kidnap the mayor at one point. That was when Mickey S was the mayor. That's how we found out the place. We were able to use the 5G towers triangulate the location, and then from there push for a search warrant to search the properties.
You're right. Just out of curiosity, who is this man to the right of me?
That is the current mayor, Lang Buddha.
Oh, a mayor.
Mickey is no longer the mayor.
Oh, Mickey's no longer the mayor. Well,
I found
times
out
have
yesterday.
changed.
Yeah.
What a drastic
longer Emma
change that
Gaines.
is.
Yeah. Mickey was a good mayor. He never bothered me once.
Yes. The Strange, how long have the Russians been in the city for, Mr. Boss?
6-7 months, at least.
Is there a reason I haven't got an email in 6 or 7 months about Russians invading our city?
Well, that's because one of the senators at the time
Because you're
was
incompetent?
acting... No.
Yes.
So with all due respect,
Yes.
I am the
yes.
opposite of incompetent.
If there are Russians in the city flying around fighter jets and I haven't been informed, I believe that might be a little bit of incompetency, sir. Just a little bit. You don't think maybe the military should have gotten involved and blown these guys off the map as soon as they entered the city? Who even gave them the goddamn facility over there?
The other senator. The one that's not here
Excuse
anymore.
me?
There used to be 3 of you, yes. One of them was acting as the ambassador between Little Moscow and us. He was handling most of the relationship. That's why I was not involved in informing you anything, because at the time I assumed that you all were talking.
Oh, no.
We only talk when absolutely necessary.
Understand? you're
Well.
important people.
I guess me and the other senator will have to have a talk about Little Moscow and what we'll do with it, what sort of explosives we'll use, when we'll do it, how we'll do it. But I don't know if that sends the right message. We're only blowing up a building. Maybe we should get the terrorist, Mr. Simone, and throw him off the ship like Bin Laden.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think maybe we send him off the fucking ship. Send the fucking message that way.
And we
Ooh,
do
we
it while
get a
he's
mission
alive.
accomplished.
You want to make him walk the plank?
Yes, we'll tie a few bricks to his feet and throw him over the fucking side of the boat, yes.
Yeah, but what does this say about
He'll
us?
just swim to the lawless island down south.
Swim? How will he swim if he's chained to bricks? He'll sink,
They're
my
gonna
friends.
chain him to bricks? Oh, okay. My apologies.
Yes. Maybe even cut his head off on the way down.
I'm not sure if it's a good idea, senators. I'm messing the wrong message to the people back, in Russia.
No, I think that sounds. I think that sends exactly the right message.
Yes. Go to Los Santos, fuck around, and find out. It's a good message.
Well,
I've
that'd be
seen
considered a war
rappers say
crime.
that.
The Russian incursion actually began at the time that Michael Simone was believed to be dead. He died on October 1st, and the Russians took over that territory on the 8th.
Interesting.
It was nothing but a foothold for them, basically, to enter Los Santos and start to gain power and influence. So yeah, whenever y'all are ready, I'm ready. I do believe it's time to go on offensive. And as far as Michael Simone, it's something that Ranger Bundy can inform me more about. We can talk more about that or continue to the next topic.
Let's go to the next topic because I think Knight needs to be here for the Simone conversation.
Okay. Well, next topic is, well, if you look behind me, you see a vast sea, an ocean, wide and blue. However, to the very east, and I point that way, there's a new
I
sovereign
don't really
state that
see
was...
anything, actually. It's quite dark out there. There's no frontal lights on the ship. I can't
You don't see that boat to the right?
Oh, yes, I see that boat out there, yes.
That is the Marines are holding and protecting the coastal guard and border of Los Santos and the sovereign state of San Queen Island. We're worried that there's going to be a lot of smugglers going in and out of the state of San Andreas, bringing either illegal contraband, weaponry, or drugs. And we wanted some sort of legislation that gives us the ability to perform customs on the border. Maybe draw some sort of line where if they pass that line between the territory of San Queen Island and the state of San Andreas, they're subject to and open to search of the belongings to make sure they're not bringing any illegal contraband, weaponry, or obviously CDS.
Okay, let me look here. Now, contraband, yes, this, I mean, you said it's a sovereign country, or island. What is it? Is it a country?
I believe it's a sovereign state. That's what it said in legislation.
A sovereign state. Okay, well, yes. If it is sovereign, then yes, I guess we shall be putting some customs aboard. How exactly would you like that to be processed, though?
Anybody exiting the island, entering back to the state of Los Santos, is subject to search upon they cross the waters. When they make it to land, then the rules and the laws of Los Santos apply to them, and they would need probable cause to search them.
For your info, senators, I've got a meeting scheduled with what's that pirate fuck's name? Thatch Moosebeard.
Yeah, Moosebeard.
He's got some ideas for how he'd like the legislation to work, so I can kick that up to you guys.
We already submitted legislation to the senators on the customs, like 2 or 3 days ago.
From Thatch?
Never received it.
No.
Oh, well, maybe you should check your emails. Either way, how do we make this happen, though? Is it something that will be forced always, or is it just something that if they get caught, they would be searched? How exactly do you see it working?
Well, we know to leave the island, you need to use a boat, or to swim, or to use some sort of means of transportation, right? Always saying anybody
Yes.
who's leaving from that island and entering the waters of the state of San Andreas is subject to arrest. However, if we don't see them on the waters leaving the island, or don't spot them, and they make it to land on shore, then the same rules and laws apply to them, like probable cause needed to search them and arrest them. Or
Yes. I mean, it sounds reasonable. I do have the documentation that I can go over and double check that, but something like that is very, very reasonable, yes.
Okay. And also, if it possible, to maybe give the PD the ability to form some sort of port authority. That way, people interested in, doing the coastal guard or being part of the customs can be out here in the waters doing police work and trying to catch any smugglers who are moving shit from one state to another.
We also might need to add in some logging for the flight record, so you can see who is coming and going on a constant basis and have an understanding of, who may or may not be doing dirty things if there's dirty things on the island.
I see. I mean, we're not in need of suspicious calls or pings. I don't think we need that. in the PD. I think
No.
we
Just documentation of flight logs, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
perfect.
think what
Alright.
he's trying to say is like an option for you to go down and see
You guys
who's
could,
actually
like, check
taking
it out.
flights over. So you guys could go see who's actually left the country.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it's
Yes,
like a
yes,
passport.
yes.
So
I
the
get that. Okay.
documentation.
Exactly,
that makes sense.
exactly.
All right, that makes sense.
Maybe we could do a passport system and they can be revoked if somebody's, put in jail. Maybe their passport is revoked for a certain amount of time. And it's quite a costly investment. Who knows what other islands could show up?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, we just want to make sure we're ready. We don't get ready for when it happens. We stay ready.
Yes.
And then, lastly, I'm not sure how to get this kind of sorted, but PD's been requesting for ability to seize vehicles or properties and having some sort of state auction to where we can generate revenue. As we don't want to be dependent on the mayor's office to be asking for money from them. We should be asking for the minimum, but if we want to achieve more and be more self-sufficient, there should be other ways through seizing evidence and trying to auction it back to the civilian population, while also getting a large sum of cash out of it and dividing among the PD.
Well, I suppose if it's going to go through current civilian businesses, it would make sense, but I'm unsure if it was just through PD or something that it would be good for the city. So, if you could sort out somebody that is, business-oriented within the city, I'm sure we could have something fleshed out, yes?
Okay, perfect. And then lastly, maybe passing a new law for speed limit in the ocean, depending on the distance you're away from shore. So maybe we can conduct traffic stops out in the ocean of people traveling back and forth from islands.
Well, I mean, so from my understanding, if somebody's out in the ocean, you should be able to do the fisheries checks and search their boats and whatnot anyway, so, really, they should be yielding without the speed limit. Where you could put a radar on your fucking boat.
Yeah, we
You
can
don't
have a
need
raid on the boat.
anything. You don't need shit, Bass. You already got the fishing checks.
Okay, all right then.
Anybody who can even be suspected as being in the act of fishing or hunting can have their shit searched at any time.
Okay, good enough for me then. Just making sure I'm just covering my bases. That's all, because there's gonna be a lot of water activity happening here pretty soon. So.
I think yes, with all the customs and stuff, though, you'll have a lot of information on these people.
Yeah. I mean, hell, you'll have a log of people that are going over there, and then you'll be able to when people come back, you have every reason to search them. So, I don't think you need to pull somebody over for going 36 and a 35 on the ocean.
Okay. Perfect. Then I don't think I got anything else I need to talk about. I think I filled you in as far as my issues. But yeah, is there any questions you have for me?
No. That sounds great.
Thank you. All right. Well, Bundy, it's your show.
Is Night awake?
I do not see him on duty currently.
Topic we're going back to is Michael Simone, and I'm a little bit confused about the hearing we're having here today. Is this something that you're
It's
looking
not a
just to-
hearing. This ain't a hearing.
Okay. So
This is
more
completely
like
extrajudicial. This is the Senate wanting to speak to the investigators because, hell, you know, they might just decide to gitmo this fucker. So, you know, if they want to hear shit, they can hear shit.
Oh, there is something I want to talk about since we got some time. This happened 2 days ago, and I was in charge of this, so feel free to get mad at me if you like, Senator. But can we talk about the shipping containers and the policies behind them, and maybe you can explain it from your perspective as far as what you believe should happen, so I can have a better understanding as far as how to proceed going forward? Because I thought I was going by the guidelines that we had in place.
Right. So, I believe there is a guideline to do with stashes on business properties, but I believe a stash would, I'm not even sure stashes, are they still around? Are they still a thing?
Yeah, there's still some out there.
Either way, the way I see it is how it works in the rest of America. If you want to enter any sort of property with the intention to search anything, you should have a warrant. It's that simple. If there is somebody that you can't forward the warrant to, that doesn't matter. You can still do it once it's signed. If it's not possible to pass it on to them, you should still be able to search the property once it's signed.
Okay, let me ask you this. But who am I searching that property? Who does the property belong to at that point? Because I was under the assumption it was public property at the time, but I was told otherwise. Because
public property would that's like a park or government owned. Really, that's the public space. But if it's a industrial property or a housing property, it is private property.
I see. Okay, so you're saying because of where its location and basing on the housing district, sorry, the industrial district, it means it belongs to somebody. That land's owned by somebody else's business. Okay.
Exactly. I don't want you going out to a farm in the middle of nowhere and finding, 73 people chained up in a basement just because you felt like going in there for no reason. Because I don't want to go. That would be illegal.
Okay, and then, well, let me ask you this. In the search warrant, for example, if I'm pushing for a search warrant of said container to belong on private property, who am I sending the search warrant? Is it to a local, or is it to the person I catch going in and out of that place?
Well, if you see somebody going in and out of the place and it's on the property that is owned by a local, you don't have to file it to anybody. It will be passed on automatically to the owner of the property.
So what you would do is you would write the place to be searched. You would write container, for example, the one that incorrectly searched based on my authorization the other day. Lab in training, whose property was being searched, you would write owner of train yard east of Orchardville Ave. Doesn't need to be a specific person. Just owner of train yard east of Orchardville.
No, I understand. Okay, that makes
also
sense.
going to raid a property, if you have a raid warrant for a property, you don't necessarily need to serve it unless they're on the property while you're raiding them.
I understand that. I'm saying for the application of the search warrant when the judge is asking who's being raided, for example, right? When
Yes.
If
it's a locally owned business, you would note that business to the best of your ability.
And I'm asking these questions because I want to make a PD announcement about it. So if this does happen again, At least officers know what necessary steps they have to take and how to fill out the paperwork, so we're on the same page.
And the
Well,
easy way to go through it, Bass, is as Barosi just said to you, and as I said to you the other day, a lot of these stashes, right? They may be large boxes, but they are still boxes, okay? Whereas a crate has a door, it could function as a hiding place for a human being, etc. So a place that has a door that is on property, private, whether you know the owner or not, is treated like a home.
What the fuck is that noise?
Okay. All right, perfect. I think I got a text message from Brian Knight. So
You just need to consider it like anything else. When you're searching a person, you get your PC. It doesn't matter. That's it.
No,
Everything
I
works
don't
under the
make sure
same,
we're
same sort of thing. If something was laying in the open like a stash and you walk past through public visuals and you saw something and somebody pulled a gun out of it or something like that, you'd be able to search it right there and then.
Of course. I'm just making sure that I understand the ruling on it and the perspective y'all have, so at least we're on the same page. So if it does happen again, I know how to deal with it properly and make sure that the right procedure is applied. Brian Knight is on his way. We can wait here or we can meet him in Los Santos.
Well, I don't mind. We could always go in there if need be.
How far is he out?
Let me check my GPS.
It would
The
probably
sun is
because we would have
rising. It
to,
looks so beautiful out there.
Where? He should be here. I told him to come here. I don't see him. Is he on duty?
he
might
is
be off duty.
not. Oh, he
He's
is
on
now
duty,
actually.
or
No, he's on
he's
duty now.
Where is his call sign? 221. By the way, Brian Knight is also part of the state. So is Jeffrey Bundy here. A lot of
Yes.
fine officers that do amazing police work are within the state, jurisdiction. So we got the best of the best here in house.
I didn't ask.
I don't think I did either, but either way, just remember, the basics of a police officer is searching with PC. I'm sure you guys can comprehend it.
Oh,
At
don't
the end
you
of the
worry,
day, if
yeah.
you can't serve the
Mhm.
warrant, who cares? Just fucking go and do it. They can get it later. So,
I
is he
believe.
coming
I
out
think.
here?
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
he is.
I think he's in the helicopter with Lovesick right now. They should be here.
Okay,
Oh,
marvelous.
All right.
All right.
Perfect.
Any other business we got to deal with while we have Bass here?
I got some food. Tell me some food, by the way.
Yeah, I'll
Plenty
take
of
some food.
Yeah. We got supplies on the aircraft carrier for the Marine unit, so. he's on
Dude.
the ground.
The fucking limiting that fucking,
And so, Davis, I got a couple of cars I seized.
Yep, I'll take those for you.
PD's been up my ass about wanting to buy them off us.
the
Ooh.
fucking limiting that they have on this
Speaking of that,
fucking
Crane,
Yeah.
Steam now is
can we
fucking
buy one of
horrible.
those for
Holy
the,
shit.
For the PD.
Yeah, we
Because,
seized this car, Davis, from this asshole Francis, and it's like a S++, some kind of sports car. I don't fucking know. And PD's all hot to trot to spend a bunch of their budget money on buying the car from us. So I told them that's up to you guys.
Is somebody's alarm going, or is that the microwave?
That might be.
No, it's a bunch of cops getting shot.
Is that
We
my
just
life
turned
alert?
that
I'm
off.
fine. I don't know why
Is it
that's
the
going on.
goddamn Russians? Do I need to get the tank out?
No, it's a house robber. It's a burglary gone wrong. Son of a bitch up in the Violent Hills.
Jesus Christ. 5 police officers shot over a robbery.
Sounds
Scumbags.
about right.
Oh,
You
this is
might
America.
need bigger guns.
Well, speaking of that, when we were invited to San Queen Island, the sovereign state, just to the east, they did have
Yes.
pretty big guns. AK-74, RPGs, big silencers, big guns. And they also
Interesting.
had military trucks used well, so.
Well, don't
worried that
worry. If
some
things
people-
get out of hand, just this time email me when the terrorists are here, okay? Just email
Yeah.
me. It's a simple process.
Hey,
Will
nine.
do, sir. Will do.
Hey,
Alright,
Ryan.
so
What is with half the police officers having an eye missing?
Oh, mine got
Oh, I have
shot
an
out
eye.
by. Mine got shot out by
Oh,
Michael.
between them,
so-
they got 2 eyes.
No, I have both eyes. This is for shooting.
Oh, I see. You
Yeah, you
cross-eyed
swap
or
the eye
something.
patch when no, you swap the eye when it gets dark out.
Oh,
All right.
right.
So just so we're on
Gentlemen.
the same page here, Knight, Bundy, Best. This is not a judicial hearing of any sort. This is not a formal procedure. This is in no way any kind of court proceeding. This is simply an extrajudicial matter where the senators have asked you to come and talk to them about some things that have occurred in their jurisdiction. Because, you know, they have ultimate authority, so they may just decide to throw this fucker off the side of a building. Who knows? So the floor is yours. Basically tell us who this fucker is, what he did, blah, blah, blah.
You want to crack it open, or you want me to, Brian?
Speaking in
Oh, go for it.
facts would be perfect. Facts, not
What you can
assumptions.
prove.
Okay. We began investigating Michael Simone way back in September when we had a sniper that was shooting at people. His DNA
What year?
tied
Can you
back to
clarify the year?
That would be late 2021. September 2021. Multiple instances of snipers. These are confirmed through his text messages, where he was taking photographs through the lenses of the snipers, the scopes, I guess, and sending them to his friends, threatening to shoot them. He has text messages where he confirms being responsible for the Chinese vitamins that hit the streets, those unknown pills that were going around, and also claims credit for the metamorphine epidemic that we had. In January 16th, 2022, Brian conducted a raid on Michael Simone's house.
After he planted a car bomb on a
Yeah,
police officer.
yeah.
Was that confirmed? Exactly. Was there evidence of this?
Yes, he admitted it.
He's admitted in his own text messages to at least 4 or 5 separate car bombings, including one against me. And his DNA has been found on, I believe, 3 scenes where officers were shot with AWM sniper rifles.
He also directly confirmed a remote detonated car bomb about 3 months after the first one.
He also went on Twitter and essentially confirmed, as well as directly called a police officer after the Paleto Sheriff's Office was exploded, taking credit for that bombing as well.
I mean, it already sounds like there's quite substantial evidence that he's a psychopath. I assume he also tried to blow up, what was that, Hayes Auto. I bet that was him as well.
I don't believe that we actually have any concrete evidence linking anyone to that. Brian, are you aware of anything on that?
Hayes Auto, no links. Very unlikely given that he's a beneficiary of Hayes.
Oh.
True, it is. Yeah, it's actually a business that's owned by associates of his.
Interesting.
Upon the search and seizure of his property, we found a secret room that had a bunch of gun stashes in the back of it, boxes labeled explosives and bullets and guns and things like that. And we found documentation that led us to a shipping container off of Buccaneer. Down on Buccaneer, we found, what it was about 35 firearms, Brian? Does that sound right?
I think it was much more than that.
Yeah.
35 firearms and then multiple explosives.
Yes, 20 pipe bomb explosives, 35 firearms, Class 1 and Class 2s. This was when Enterprise wide bodies were fairly common, as well as...
What is wrong with
the
chat today?
automatic
You guys
weapons that
okay?
we found? Because about 10 of those were the Class 2s that we located down there.
Like a variety of like AKs and shit.
Yeah.
I believe there was a sniper there too.
There was,
Yes.
there was. And an RPG as well, too.
So an AWM sniper rifle and an RPG, all nestled in boxes around a what appeared to be a bench for the purposes of weapons manufacturing. Following that raid was when he went on the run, car bombed a bunch of people, blew up the CGI building, blew up the Paleto Sheriff's Office, shot me in the face with a sniper rifle, all of which he's admitted to in text messages, or his DNA was found on scene. He also conducted a bombing of the court center on January 22nd, 2022.
In the hospital.
That fixes it.
No one sunk to my
Yes,
channel.
he attempted to bomb what is now the fire station, but was previously a hospital, as well as 2 other locations. Dan Faley has more information about that. Again, confirmed via text messages that he had between Jenny Hall and multiple other police officers that he was taunting because he believed himself to be untouchable.
Mm-hmm.
What else did this guy do, Brian? We got
Well,
more
he has
on
a
him.
nuclear submarine. which he
Oh.
threatened to use.
Yep. He has been spotted in a nuclear submarine by one individual, and he escaped in a nuclear submarine while police attempted to apprehend him back in December. Or no, sorry, August 2022.
All right. Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Since September of 2021, how many, off the top of your head, how many bombings has he been involved in, like completely? Whether it be car bombings, building bombings, like a total amount of bombings he's confirmed been involved in? And then how many, and I have the documents for all the things you sent, but I just want to hear you, just flat out said. How many bombings has he been involved in?
I would estimate that we could directly confirm through DNA and text messages at least 10 or 11.
Well, he does sound like a terrorist. We might
Super
need
terrorist.
to set up Guantanamo Bay for this man. Or just throw him off the ship.
That, or we can give him the Napoleon experience.
The what experience?
Napoleon.
Maybe what we could do is we can get our own island. Maybe we can put him in a 1-by-1 cell in this island with no visitors.
Yeah, that's
the
what
rest of
happened
his
to
life.
Napoleon. He got put on an island.
Except in a cell, 1-by-1, where he has no visitors.
Yes, a soundproof glass container. Sort of
I
like
do
that
worry
guy out
that-
of X-Men.
I do worry that it's going to require a lot of resources due to the fact that he's got a lot of friends in powerful places that will do anything they can to break him out.
We could put a few turrets that will shoot anything within the vicinity. I'm sure we'll be fine.
Fair.
If you're
But
found on the island, you are to be sentenced by death, could also be stated. If you really want to tell people to fuck off.
Yeah, something like that would be good because it gives people an understanding that, hey, if you fuck around, you'll find out.
Oh, I forgot about the big one. He admitted in his text messages that he was arming the treasonous during the War of Sandy Shores as well.
Oh, those biker assholes.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
We
You're
have
telling me that
photos
he-
of him as well at that location.
Hmm.
Uh-oh.
Hold up for 2 seconds. You're telling me that he was involved in that whole thing that me and the other senator had to stomp out, that whole war, that whole treason?
Yeah, just prior to war breaking out, he was texting about how war pays. He was photographed in that compound following the kidnapping of an officer. And then directly after the conclusion of the war and everyone being sentenced to treason, he said he was done with it for now because pharmaceuticals paid more. That's when he moved into the space of metamorphosis and stuff like that.
Interesting.
What an asshole.
Well, I mean, there's enough information you've passed on. Once we go over the evidence and whatnot, maybe me and the other senator will speak and we'll come to a conclusion on what we believe should happen in this situation. It appears a lot is tied to the Russians as well, and we'll also have some input on the new island as well.
Perfect.
Yes, it will be perfect.
Chief Justice Crane should have a document with all of our evidence for you. Probably the biggest ones is going to be the compiled phone records, because we put
Crane,
timestamps
get
in
me
there.
that document. I would like to. How many
Knight,
pages
can
is
you,
it?
Can you re-forward everything, Knight? Or Bundy? I don't think it ever got sent directly to me.
What, the whole entire packet of information?
Yeah. All right, I got it. Here you go.
Yep, I got you.
Jesus fuck. All right.
That's the reason I pointed out the important one, because there's a lot of fucking reports there.
All All right, senators, you asked, you received.
Splendid.
Right. That is a lot of
It is.
evidence.
It
All right,
is,
I
yes.
can go through that in my spare time.
Yeah.
Year and a half of investigation at least.
Yes. There should be plenty of information. If we could confirm all this, we'll make a summary judgment and see if there's any bail or anything like that, I guess.
Perfect. Now let's go back to the homeland and take out these guys in Low Moscow.
Of course, yes. Don't worry, I'll have some explosives and utility available soon.